Our planet is home to some amazing creatures that are completely alien to most of us. We've done a good job of cataloging the different animals living with us on Earth, but some are still almost unknown to us, with potentially many more waiting to be discovered. The following 5 mysterious creatures you wouldn't believe if they weren't recorded are sure to interest you and maybe even teach you something along the way. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Californian Ape. Whatever this is, it has people all over LA freaking out after being posted online. Footage of a mysterious creature sighted in the woods around La Crescenta has gone viral, being viewed and commented on by people all over the world. It shows what looks like an animal making its way through the treetops, but the poor quality has hindered identifying exactly what it was. A spokesperson for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife has stated that they're currently investigating the event and have so far been unable to locate whatever it was that was captured on tape. He's suggested, however, that it could be a bear or large bird, also mentioning that it was potentially some kind of ape. If there is a wild ape roaming around California, it would certainly make headlines, with the same spokesperson, Andrew Hewen, musing about the possibility that it's an escaped pet or one that its owner was unable to maintain, eventually releasing it into the wild. While we're waiting with bated breath to see what comes of this discovery, many people are claiming that it's gotta be something supernatural. If someone let their pet loose, we expect that the animal was caught and dealt with without too much fuss. This was just a bear climbing around in the treetops, then we won't be hearing about this mystery being solved anytime soon, which is most likely the case. Bears are known to climb trees despite their weight, but a bear being that high in the treetops seems a little unnatural, and it's not every day that you run into a bear just hanging out up there, especially around LA. Nothing much has come of this video so far, except intense speculation via the internet, which is par for the course when someone uploads grainy, blurry footage. When all's said and done, people can read whatever they want into everyday events, and conspiracy theorists will always run with the unknown and warp it to suit their narratives. That being said, this footage really is strange, and if there is, in fact, an ape loose in California swinging through those trees, we expect officials to find it soon enough and bring it back to wherever it belongs. Number 4. Tasmanian tiger sighting. We have all believed for quite some time that the Tasmanian tiger is extinct. Recent footage has potentially tossed this out the window, revealing an animal that looks very much like a Tasmanian tiger, spurring renewed interest in determining whether or not this species is in fact extinct, or if they've just been laying low and keeping out of the way of humans, which is probably a safe bet if we're being completely honest. The last known Tasmanian tiger, also called a thylacine, was thought to have died out in 1936 after seeing its territory destroyed by human settlement. The creature in this footage was caught by cameras set up by Wildlife Research and Rescue, who operate out of Victoria. They set up multiple cameras in numerous locations in order to make the find, which is still unverified and undergoing further investigation. After tripping motion sensors, the animal tore across the screen, but the infrared footage was unfortunately overexposed. Despite the buzz that this animal is attracting, many people have stated that it could very well be a dog that only happens to look similar to a Tasmanian tiger, sparking a lot of excitement for nothing. The cameras were left on a trail for 3 weeks before capturing this shot, which isn't all that long. Given the fact that it was so easy the first time around, we're sure that if there are Tasmanian tigers lurking in the brush, then they'll be able to spot one again, hopefully being able to catch one alive in order to prove their theory once and for all. Thylacines have distinctive stripe patterns on their back, with none being seen on this specimen. The blurry footage could just be hiding the telltale markings from view, but no amount of enhancing will be able to pull a solid image out of what we currently have. Many locals have also offered footage of their own, showing what they believe to be Tasmanian tigers, although most of those have turned out to be fake. It should be stated that Tasmanian tigers were usually bigger than this one, meaning that if it is an actual specimen, it's probably fairly young. We do hope that this footage is able to eventually prove that the Tasmanian tigers are still kicking around somewhere and slowly making a comeback. Number 3. Chupacabra in Portugal. Another video making the rounds has come out of Portugal. It appears to show a strange humanoid figure slowly making its way down a trail before abruptly disappearing behind a bush. The lumbering creature looks somewhat animated as it goes about its business, with many commenters saying that it has to be a hoax. We agree with them, as the movement just seems off, but many more people are claiming that it could be a glimpse of the infamous chupacabra, which is a popular legend based out of South America. Chupacabra translates to goat sucker, as they're thought to drink blood and attack any animals unlucky enough to happen across one. If this is a chupacabra, our first thought is, what's it doing in Portugal? Others have also claimed that it looks very much like aliens. It does seem very alien in appearance, with many supposedly being tall and lanky. Chupacabras have a very distinct appearance, however, with this creature fitting the bill almost perfectly. The creature in this video looks pretty realistic until the camera zooms in, highlighting it against the background, which is colored similarly. Once it reaches a large bush, we see nothing more of it, which would be strange if it were real. One thing that makes us pause is the fact that the scene gets super blurry when the camera zooms back out. This makes us think that this footage could be real, showing a blurry person just out of focus enough to warp their image and make them look like something out of our worst nightmares. We have to reiterate that we think this is a hoax, with the original footage poorly edited by someone who wanted to put something together for their friends. The internet is full of videos like this, with many actually being worse, so we do have to give some kudos to whoever was behind this one. People like messing with the rest of us, with much of the world believing that the paranormal and supernatural really do exist. With video editing software being so powerful nowadays and everyone owning a smartphone, we shouldn't expect anything less than being flooded with these kinds of hoaxes. What that means, unfortunately, is that we're so used to being fooled that we could end up easily overlooking the real deal, even when it's staring us right in the face. Number 2. Adilabad Forest Inhabitants. The Adilabad Forest is found in India and covers a massive area. These images were supposedly caught by wildlife cameras in Kawal Tiger Reserve. The area that these creatures supposedly inhabit includes a number of scattered tribal communities and smaller villages in the Telangana. Once these videos were uploaded, they quickly went viral, with people all over the world weighing in and leaving their comments. The images are usually tagged with clickbait headlines, with people eating them up. This has led to word getting back to some of the tribal people living in the area who aren't quite as caught up on the wonders of modern technology as we are. This has them pretty concerned, with many being convinced that goblins are living all around them. Being overly superstitious, these people are losing their minds and having a pretty good freakout at the moment. Even some news outlets picked up this story when it first hit, treating it as a real-life goblin sighting. The ridiculously photoshopped images don't look all that real to us, but we guess that some people just don't have enough to keep themselves busy, instead resorting to wild theories. Even Mancherial District Forest officers were asked to comment on the sightings, with one officer, Prabhakar, vehemently denying their validity. This still doesn't help those poor, terrified locals who are losing sleep because they don't want to be attacked by vicious supernatural beasts. This would be hilarious if it wasn't affecting these people so adversely, and we honestly never would have expected that fake stories spread throughout the internet would eventually find their way back to such primitive people. We get that people living in modern cities will fall prey to these hoaxes, but that's because they're immersed in the internet culture, whether they want to be or not. Most of these tribal villages are only recently being introduced into the modern world, with the repercussions being staggering. Spreading misinformation is all fun and games until these sorts of things pop up, hammering home that these stunts can affect very real people in very bad ways. This is akin to people not vaccinating their kids because someone on Twitter or Facebook told them not to, leading to a resurgence of deadly diseases that we thought were long gone. We expect that people will eventually learn that they can't believe everything they read on the internet, but until that time, we're gonna have to deal with polio and tribal villagers being unwilling to go outside at night because the goblins might get at them. That being said, it's gonna be an interesting ride no matter what. Number 1. Strange underwater sea creature in the Gulf of Mexico. Have you ever heard of Deepsteria reticulum before just now? Yeah, we hadn't either, but it seems like that's what this thing is. Looking like something from outer space, this creature popped up on a camera attached to an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico. If we had known that these things lurked beneath the waves, then we definitely would have been less enthused when we headed out for swims when we were kids. This is supposed to be a jellyfish that is relatively harmless. They're usually found around the Antarctic Ocean and can grow up to 2 feet wide. They look like an enormous gelatinous blob or some kind of plastic bag that's made its way into the ocean. When zoomed up close, this thing looks amazingly cool, and we could watch it float by us for hours on end without getting bored. It doesn't seem bothered as it glides by, probably because being a jellyfish it really can't get bothered, and it seems like it lives a very relaxed existence. The Deepsteria reticulum is usually a deep purple color, which is similar to what we see here. Despite the fact that they aren't all that dangerous to be around, this jellyfish, like most others of its species, does have stinging barbs under its thin bell. This cold water jellyfish, while not new to science, is far from its natural habitat, however, leading researchers to believe that rising ocean temperatures and changing weather patterns are forcing them further north, although they're not yet sure exactly why they've made the move. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button before you head out if you're new. That's all you have to do. Come on, just click it. I know you want to. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I heard it gives you superpowers in the future or something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.